It's my pleasure now to introduce our next speaker, gentleman who is the Service Delivery Manager for Guide Dogs for the Blind, Mr. Danny Gleeson. Danny, welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me to come to Parliament today to speak. Never been here before, apart from the outside looking at the fireworks. So it's. I've been asked to speak from a patient's point of view. Unfortunately, I developed macular disease when I was actually 23. So I just finished an apprenticeship, plumbing, gas and electrics. Tried to get into the Royal Engineers and they realised that I was colourblind. That was 1989. From there, into the eye clinic, various tests done for years after years after years. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. I was driving around Wolverhampton, fixing people's boilers, and generally enjoying myself, playing football, in a pool team, darts team, anything you could think of. Scooters in the garage, car on the drive, young wife, young child, and one on the way. Step forward to 1995 when I went up to the eye clinic and I couldn't see down the eye chart enough still to drive. And the consultant turned around and says, well, if you've came in the car, you're best leaving it on the car park and get someone else to drive it back. How could I tell them at work that I couldn't drive? I didn't. I got someone else to drive the van for me. Couldn't drive it as good as me, but he drove it okay. And I got them to wire things up because all my colour had gone and I couldn't see the end of my fingers. This carried on to 1999. In between 95 and 99, I stopped playing football, stopped playing pool, stopped playing darts, a bit dangerous when you couldn't see the board. Tried to get on with my life, stopped at work, just about, and stopped in a marriage, just about. Got to 99, on the way out to the eye clinic, middle of June, really lovely sunny day. My eyes were full of drops and my heads were full of questions and that. Tripped over a lady's guide dog that was doing an information stand for the local Blind Society, and she told me about a macular disease group that met at the last Thursday of the month in Wolverhampton. I couldn't wait to get to that group. In 10 years, I was going to meet someone else that I could talk about, that understood what I was going through. I couldn't wait for that last Thursday of the month. Went in the room and met a lovely bunch of people. Most of them were 60, 70, 80-year-old. Even somebody in the 90s was there, getting on with their life, telling me all sorts of stories about their husband had got macular, they didn't drive, what am I going to do, how can I get out, and all these things, and they were coming up with all these different solutions. And it really gave me a lift. And then I was fortunate enough to get down to the society, meet Dennis Lewis, and meet other wonderful people within the society that helped me on the way. Got in touch with my local Blind Society, got in touch with the RNIB and guide dogs, and I got support from everybody I could think of. I was getting support. And then I went on a mission to find other people and support other people through their sight loss. I got to 2001 and I couldn't see any of the eye chart at all. My AMD, or macular disease, had affected the rest of my retinas and now my optic nerves. So I was registered blind, even though I could still see shapes and still see the difference between light and dark, but I was registered blind. It scared the hell out of me. Those 18 months, lost my marriage, almost lost my job, lost my dog, and lost my dad. So I was in a pretty dark place there. The Macular Society helped me through that, and so did the RNIB and my local Blind Society and guide dogs. I went back to college 2 nights a week and studied into management, and eventually worked for the Macular Society, and now I work for guide dogs. That's a very brief synopsis of sight loss and the journey you take. You don't just lose your eyesight, it affects the rest of your life. How can you go to shops and buy something when you can't see the price and you can't see the colour and you don't even know what section of the shop you're in, unless you've got the confidence and know how to do it, because you've met other people that do it. If all of you in the room stick together and work together and can avoid anyone else going through what I had to go through, then please do so. Thank you very much.